Flexing that ankle.
Oh, Lee, this late in the game, you do not want to see.
Fans are not just concerned about Clark's injuries this time, but they're also furious because it goes beyond a simple bruise or bump. Her second injury of the season could keep her out of action for a while, depending on how severe it is. But what really annoys supporters is how avoidable the whole thing was.
Stephanie White has now got questions to answer.
Because of the judgments made by the opposing players, the officials, and the fever, this is a cumulative effect that goes beyond a single play and has been growing over the season. Since we have previously witnessed what happens when Caitlin Clark is off the court, there is now significant concern not only for her health, but also for her career and, subsequently, for the prosperity of the whole WNBA. Caitlin Clark is not receiving the proper level of protection, neither strategically nor physically, by those who ought to comprehend her significance to the game. The demand for dip tickets falls sharply. Let's discuss what transpired, the reasons why supporters are angry with Stephanie White, and the grave mistakes that culminate in what may be the greatest missed chance in sports history. First, wish Caitlin a speedy recovery by like this video and leaving a heart in the comment box. After her most recent absence, the enthusiasm flatlines that little pie moment. Another extra-large slice is on the horizon for the league.
Boston hands it off as Clark's back in. She goes down. And midcourt and flexing that ankle.
Oh, Lee, this late in the game, you do not.
Caitlin Clark is officially sidelined for an undetermined period of time after appearing to damage her groin during the play against the Storm. Every day, Stephanie White called her.
When did you guys find out about this groin injury, and how much of an absence do you expect from her beyond today?
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment.
How is she doing? Is there any timeline for her return?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well. Again, no timeline. I think it's day-to-day, and for us to just make sure that we're continuing to be supportive.
It looks like this may go anyway because fans no longer trust Stephanie White's answers during the press conference. Since Dana wasn't on the team's daily schedule, she had requested to sit out.
Like, it's one of two things. It's either it's groin tightness and she'll be back for the Commissioner's Cup game. She's probably going to miss these next two games. Or it's a groin strain and she's out for the All-Star game. Like, it's one of those two, and there's no...
Even though Caitlin's injury is small, there is evidence to suggest that it should cause her to lose a considerable period of time. This isn't because supporters desire it, but rather because it's getting harder to ignore the pattern. All of these injuries are clearly related to one another, and nothing appears to be fully resolved.
I think we're getting into territory now where it is not, I don't think it's a good idea to just chance it. I don't think it's a good idea to put pressure on yourself to perform when obviously these are all left leg. These are all in the same leg area. So there's definitely something going on around.
Furthermore, a lot of people believe that Caitlin's injuries aren't the result of a chance play. Rather, they believe that she has been playing with an ailment for a few days or weeks, and that the Storm has only made it worse. Honestly, there are a few compelling reasons why fans are endorsing this notion. First, according to the statistics, Caitlin hasn't only been aloof after being roughed up during that vicious game versus Connecticut. Over the past few games, she has gone 1 for 23 from deep, which is a warning sign rather than a slump.
You guys did not see, in this game right here, against the New York Liberty, she's doesn't have anything strapped up, and people are saying her quad was strapped up against Connecticut Sun. That is a very high strapping up.
Fans, particularly Stephanie White, are going bananas over the fever at this point since it indicates that Caitlin was rushed back if she had been playing injured all along.
You guys rushed her back, and within rushing her back, she re-injured that same quad, and then you rushed her back again. And then within rushing her back, she was forced to put pressure and put stress on different areas surrounding that quad. That leads us to our most recent groin injury.
It's true that when one part of your body isn't functioning well, you start applying pressure to other joints and muscles to make up for it, which causes other injuries. Because of this, it was obvious to fans that Caitlin shouldn't have come back at all when they saw her wearing that bulky wrap around her calf. Speaking of which, let's return to the Storm game, as this is the point at which supporters are incensed. Stephanie White. It's on the sofa. It appears that this one is on the couch. You begin to question Stephanie White's judgment when you take into account that Caitlin was reintroduced into the game with 8 seconds left because risk management eventually takes precedence over bravery. Many supporters now think that their coach and the Fever failed that test. Caitlin may have begged to return, perhaps in an attempt to get out of her slump, but the coach's role is to safeguard the player, especially this one, with 16 seconds left and the game already decided.
Clark clearly not looking like herself. The Indiana Fever has the game put away, yet we still put her back in the game at 45 seconds left. Caitlin Clark dealing with an injury, not looking like herself. The game is already out of hand, yet we still put her back in with 45 seconds left. How much patience do I need to have before I can start going nuclear? Because I am getting very frustrated with what I am seeing.
Fans are starting to worry at this point since it's becoming increasingly clear that Caitlin Clark isn't receiving the proper management. She plays and supports the squad since she has a strong competitive spirit. Even though she doesn't discuss it, she is aware that the entire WNBA, not just Indiana, is keeping an eye on her and that she is bearing the burden of everything. That's exactly the issue when you have someone who feels responsible for a team and a league, never wants to sit down and pushes through hardship. She may eventually miss more than a few games if she continues to play hurt.
She's playing through a little more pain than she should. I mean, look what happened to Tyrese Halliburton in the NBA Finals game when he tore his Achilles heel. He had also mentioned having some pain there, and this was like the pinnacle of his career. So he attempted to play through that, and at the very end, he went down.
It seemed unimaginable only a year ago that Caitlin Clark would miss so much time, which is what makes everything even more worrisome. She participated in every game that was a part of her legend at Iowa, but she has now missed nearly half of the season due to what seems to be a recurring issue with the same leg that is obviously affecting her performance and could cause her problems for the duration of the season or longer if treatment is not received.
There's something going on. Is it the nagging quad injury? But it's something to do with the lower half of her body. It is a groin injury. Now we've got an idea of why she's struggling from long range where it requires some real push on three-point shots, especially the kind that she takes. And there's nothing worse than a groin injury. It will nag the shit out of you. Trust me,
We have seen it time and time again. Cameron, Gudju-Brink, Courtney Watkins, and Vanderloot. There is a long and sad list of well-known female athletes who have experienced serious knee injuries. An ACL injury may end a season and damage a career, so it's more than simply a setback. The worst-case situation is as follows. Imagine Caitlin Clark, who is already playing with a clearly fragile leg, tearing her ACL during garbage time during that Storm game. In addition to being tragic for her, it would go down in WNBA history as the biggest tactical error. We are discussing an event that might have caused the league to regress 10 years. No player has ever been more crucial to the league's future than Caitlin Clark, so it's not hyperbole to say that all the momentum, new fans, and record-breaking ratings gone in an instant. If you think I'm overstating things, wait a few minutes to hear how terrible this is for other players. To be clear, this isn't exclusive to fans of Fever. Because the refereeing has been appalling and has played a major role in the entire fiasco, analysts are now holding the league itself responsible for how things got so bad.
That you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. And with women as well, we are more prone to knee injuries even than the men because of the angle that our hips go to our knees. So the last thing you want is her compensating or her groin not firing properly and she goes to cut to the side and then all of a sudden something blows in her knee. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it. She has such a long career.
It's no secret that the Fever has frequently been given the short end of the stick this season, and Caitlin Clark is the best example of this. Them have been raising the alarm for weeks, but the game versus the Sun was the pivotal moment since everything that preceded the now famous eye poke and body check enraged them.
They just kept shoving Caitlin. They're like, well, they can't just keep calling fouls. I'm like, they're literally just running around hacking her. The referees have made it like a point that this is how you beat the Fever. You hack them. You don't even, it's not being physical. You just hack them. because the referees are going to allow them to be hacked.
This degree of violence seems to be established in the WNBA since it affects the entire league, not just Indiana, even though we can debate missed calls against Caitlin Clark and the Fever.
This is JC Sheldon right here with an entire handful of Caitlin Clark's shoulder and bicep, and she's twisting it. Okay? I mean, this is wild. Here's the zoomed out look, the snapshot. I mean, this league does not have control of its players.
Players suffer, and it's not just Caitlin Jade. When coaches base their game plans on physicality because the league won't police its own regulations. That's an acknowledgement that the referees aren't performing their duties, not just a coaching trick. When I say that Melbourne of the Mystics actually lost her tooth as a result of a needless elbow while writing this script, I mean it. This serves as yet another warning that there are serious repercussions when the league prioritizes player safety over player safety and permits them to play. Although this has been happening for years, the one player who is independently saving the league is now in danger. Here's something that a lot of fans are bringing up if you want to take it seriously. During the off-season, Caitlin Clark put on a significant amount of muscle. The cockiness on the pitch and the added bulk, it was a major plot point going into the season, but she had to bulk up because she was being beaten last year. The message was clear. If you're going to survive in this league, you better build armor. However, the twist is that adding muscle quickly, especially in your legs and core, can mess with your mechanics. Your stride changes, your lift on shots changes, and most importantly, your risk of injury increases. If your movement patterns haven't full, perhaps we wouldn't be on the verge of another Caitlin Clark injury spiral if the league reduced the physicality a little rather than using it as a selling point.